We had some stuff going on over the weekend in the sports world, so we do our Monday snap judgments. We'll say the statement, we'll snap, we'll elaborate. Y'all know the drill. And Danny, you haven't been here in a little while, so I feel like we should start off with you.
Okay. Look, there's a lot of layers to what's been going on over the weekend, but here's my snap judgment. I am tired of the Caitlyn Clark cheap shots. I'm tired of them. Because if it's not a basketball play, it's not acceptable. When you walk on a court or when you walk on a field or where you walk on your place of business, walking upstairs into the office, walking here onto the set, you have a general consensus and idea of how safe you're going to be in those circumstances. And when a ball is not in play and right before it starts to get thrown out of bounds, that should not be a time that you should be concerned about your well-being, your head, you know, some sort of whiplash. That's not a basketball play. Now, do I think that Caitlyn Clark needs to be babied? Absolutely not. In fact, I don't even think she thinks she needs to be babied. I am just saying that the non-basketball plays, the cheap shots, have got to go. If you want to throw in an extra, I used to pinch as a player. I used to, you know, give people little side bruises while you're down there in the post. I wasn't in the post all that often because this was eventually hopefully going to be the moneymaker, so nobody wanted to get popped in the face. But those types of cheap shots, that works. But in the game, you know, where it makes sense, if you want to be a little bit stronger, a little bit more physical with a player, I am totally fine with that. But just absolutely going off the rails and pushing someone for no reason when they're not paying attention, not only is it unsafe, it's unfair. And I think the fact that she backed that up and actually hasn't really apologized for that move is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. And everything you said, too, I agree with. Like, I think in a play, it's free game. And, like, it's up to the officials to make sure that they're looking at what they're supposed to look at. But, like, as a competitor, you're trying to gain any edge you can. I think once the play ends, right, like not a basketball play, you absolutely should not do that. I think there is this other portion of me, and this is not to blame Caitlyn Clark whatsoever. We have seen now in the short time of her career how people are going to treat her, right? Like they're pushing the boundaries on physicality because they're trying to rattle her and get her out of her game. You have to be on guard 24/7. I had a coach who used to tell us, like, just because you're not a part of a play standing around a pile doesn't mean you're not going to get hit, right? And it's unfortunate that she's got to be in that scenario, but for her sake, guard up all the time. And some of her teammates, please.
Oh my gosh. You know
back
what?
her up.
Yes. If your teammate fell on the ground in practice, just in practice, I'm not even talking about the game. If our entire team, and we were not a good team, nor were we all that well coached, I'm just going to be honest with you, but you had to run over to your teammate to help them up. That was an unwritten rule. If you didn't do it, you ran. I do not understand how Caitlyn Clark can end up on her back and no one is running to her defense and no one's running to get in the face of the person that did it. That's just being a good teammate.
She just can't get hurt. Like, again, this is a WNBA-wide issue at this point. If she gets hurt, she's already one of the faces of the league. There are major financial implications for her if she misses any time. So she can't get hurt. That's my one thing that can't happen.
I'm totally there with you. Now, I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what you said there. Kennedy Carter, you need to take your medicine from the media, right? Like, so there's a press conference. They call Kennedy in there. She's asked a question about Caitlyn Clark. She says, next question, whatever the case was. She was asked follow-up, and she said, I ain't answering no questions about Caitlyn Clark. And for me, I feel like if you're going to be out there and you want to be the big bad wolf, and that's what you want to do, I'm totally fine with that. But also, when you have a play that is outside of what people would typically observe on a basketball court, when you're in the press conference, I feel like you should answer to that. And it does a couple of things for me. Number one, I think you should have to take accountability, one way or another, whether that is, hey, you know what, I lost my cool here, which the statement from Teresa Witherspoon said, but she has not said it. Kennedy has not said it, number one. Or number two, stand on business, one way or the other. But the thing that I cannot stand is when an athlete is called to speak to the press and they don't give the answer about the topic that everybody is talking about. I don't think that athletes owe people much, but that is one scenario where I do think that you owe the people who are watching the sport an answer about that situation.
I decided to take a look at her social media yesterday and through the weekend. A lot of reposting of people backing her up and saying Caitlyn Clark needs to get into the weight room. A lot of that type of I hear all the noise. I don't care. I thrive off of it. I like the haters. Give it all to me. That's all fine and good on social media, but you better do that to the media.
And that's the thing. Like, you got all that time to run your mouth on social, but you don't have time when you are asked about it in a press conference. I feel like those things don't add up. It's just, as an athlete, it's the one thing that I feel like you should do in that scenario is talk about what happened there.